I'm jumping. All right, that's me.
Woo!
Okay.
Hey, we got Dave Station.
Hey guys, welcome to the PSVR chat show.
Lewis Knight, PSVR.
You guys go.
What's up, brother?
Party join. Awesome.
Oh, Jason the Livinator. How you doing, man? Such a gentleman. And we got Shughead from Shughead Gaming.
What up, what up?
What up, what up?
Yes.
Danish, what's happening?
Wow.
Nice.
I love the audience.
I know, they all love us.
Man.
They all love us.
And Jimif Jamif. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
I'm charging a move, so it might look like I'm grabbing your ass.
Here he comes.
I'm not grabbing.
Nice.
I promise.
In that
And the
case.
man himself, Reggie. Reggie Strange from Strange Games. How's it going, man? You good?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Excellent stuff. Cool, and welcome to the PSVR Chat Show. Look at this level. Oh, it's savage.
Beautiful.
We take it.
Look at this.
Amazing, man.
There's giant bullets in the skies. Look at the giant bullets.
Well, Reggie, you're in my chair, dude. You're in my chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was...
You can have an aim controller, though, if you want. There you go.
All right.
Have an aim controller. Nice, man.
Awesome.
Oh, I actually haven't got any coffee. Sweet. So, what should we do? Do you want to get the viewer questions out of the way first, or have you guys got some questions for Reggie already?
Whatever you guys want to do.
Anybody got
Viewer questions? Let's do viewer
Yeah,
questions.
man, let's
You're
do
in
the
charge.
viewer
You can see
questions.
whatever you
So,
want.
Yeah. So, Diz, first question is, how long will the game be in beta? Actually, introduce the beta first, because you told us there's a date coming. It's the 18th, I believe.
Yes, this Tuesday, the open beta will release. We'll probably do a couple of phases with it, so each phase may be lasting a week to a week and a half, just depending on feedback and how many bugs we find. And then, with the final game following after the final phase of the open beta. So it's kind of fluid right now, so we don't have a firm date on that. It'll just kind of, just kind of see how the beta does.
Excellent. Tell us some features about the game.
It's going to be 32 players, so it'll be 2
I can't wait for that.
Wait, for people who don't know Reggie, did we say what the name of the game is yet?
Honor and Duty D-Day.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Honor and Duty D-Day.
Superb. Cheers, Dave. Thank you.
Good show.
Yeah, so it's a cartoony World War II shooter, kind of the sequel to Arcade Edition. So we have 32 players. Do have squads. Squads will be in the open beta this Tuesday.
Nice.
We do have squad chat working, so you'll be able to chat with your squad mates. I know that was a big thing people wanted in Arcade Edition. It supports the aim controller, the move controller, as well as the DS4. It is
brilliant.
VR optional, meaning the flat players can play as well. So I know there's been some questions about that.
Wow.
And one of the things we're excited about is the controller options. I think everybody's probably heard about where you can use the aim controller along with the move controller. So you can use and depending on what controller configuration you're using, it'll automatically kind of switch between different modes. So if you have an aim controller on, it's going to default to that being your primary weapon. So then if you turn on the move, then that will automatically be your secondary. So
like all you do is all you do is like just hit a button on that. You pick up the move and hit a button and it activates it.
Well, if the move controller is on, then it's going to be tracked and it will assign a weapon to it.
Right.
And then you can switch between whether you want a knife or a sidearm.
What about grenades, Reggie?
And then you switch to the you switch to the aim controller just by picking that back and like pulling the trigger or something.
Right. There's really no switching between it. I mean, it's in your hand. So if you set it down, your primary weapon sits down.
So I'm sorry, and grenades as well.
Right. That'll be on your move as well. Your secondary.
Sweet.
So if you're playing with an aim and a move.
It sounds amazing.
Sweet.
Yeah. Cookable, isn't it? You got cookable grenades.
Right. So when you
Just like that.
Yeah. Now, if you're playing with the move for your grenades, you can use what we call realistic grenade toss, which means you literally take and sling the grenade.
Awesome.
Or you can just push a button and it'll just launch it with a preset velocity. So We've got it set up to where if you use the realistic grenade toss, you can throw the grenade a little further. So it's kind of an added perk to if you go with the full realism.
I want to throw that shit, dude.
Take my money.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. I think with the aim plus the move is going to be huge because people have been asking for that forever.
Yeah.
And there's no other game that has it yet.
Right.
And I remember when Dream Match Tennis came out and it could use the nav controller for the PS Move.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh wow, this is awesome! Like, how come nobody's done this before?"
And what about the
That.
vehicles?
That's a good idea for sure.
Yeah, man. And the vehicles. How do you drive the vehicles? Drive the vehicles with the move controllers?
Yeah, you can. With the move controller, basically your left hand is like a joystick. So if you push it forward, you're going to go forwards, back, left, and right. And that is for vehicles as well as movement. Now, there's two options with the move controllers. You can go into the joystick mode, or you can do kind of the other mode would be both hands are on the weapon, so you're looking like this. In which case, then we have to use buttons for movement because you can't use a joystick if you're using it to track your weapon. I'm not sure if that makes sense. So, but you can toggle between the modes with the left move button, so you can immediately go from one to the other real quick.
Okay.
So we're trying to give people as many options, as we can, and make it, easy to switch them out.
I can't wait to try all the options.
So you were saying if you got the DualShock sitting next to you, you could actually pick up the DualShock and drive, and then put that back down.
Right. Yeah. So you can have all the PlayStation supports up to 4 Bluetooth devices, so you can have a DS4, an aim, and 2 moves connected at the same time.
And none of this will.
Gee,
but none of this interferes with
octopuses.
Okay, wait. But none of this interferes with the others. In a way, like none of them would cause drift to the others, or lagging or jumping.
I haven't noticed any in testing, but if that comes up, let us know. We'll, worst case, you just turn off, the controller you don't need. But you should be able. And there's so many combinations. We haven't fully tested everything. We try to test as we go on, but there might be some combination where something doesn't work right. But again, that's why we're doing an open beta is to find all those issues. So.
I can't wait to sell holsters and stuff. That would be awesome. Like if you could just be strapped up and have everything on you, stand up and just pull out.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm making a holster. I'm a holster.
Yeah, commando style.
Yeah, I know Paul was talking about that. He was going to make a holster for his aim or for his move.
I am so gonna throw a move controller across my living room. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, man, you have the straps for a reason.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, for sure.
I almost lost the move a couple of times during testing.
Yeah, I know. JD threw one across the room and spark.
So what other weapons have you got? I mean, what have you got? You got pistols, assault rifles. What have you got?
Assault rifles, sniper rifles, sidearm, melee weapon, grenades. We'll eventually have mortars, landmines, and rocket launchers.
Man.
But those won't be in the open beta this Tuesday. We might actually get the landmines in this week. It just depends on, how many bugs we find and all. So.
Awesome.
I'm very excited about this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
I just hope it goes over well. Our biggest fear is everybody's excited and we're excited, and just hope it there's no unplayable bugs found. That's the big challenge. Is we're just very limited. How being able to really fully test 32 players. So. I did actually write a special bot that we could spawn up to 30 players to test with, locally. And, we haven't seen anything, but, once you get a real match going with 30 real players, then you're bound to find other issues. So that's going to be good.
So as far as the beta goes, just to clarify, I know you guys have done some testing on PC before. This is PSVR beta? Or is this
yes, this is a PSVR beta. It'll come to the PlayStation Store on Tuesday, so there'll be no codes. You don't need any codes. And actually, we wanted to get codes, so we could have given you guys out some review codes to try it out before the beta releases, but I think they were going to charge like $5,000 to set up codes.
No, man, you good. We're good. We'll just wait. You save your money, man. You save your money.
So, yeah, it'll be an open beta on the PlayStation on this Tuesday. You don't need VR or to play it. Now, we often do, we'll try to do some PC-based tests, and that's just kind of off the grid sort of thing. We'll distribute a PC build. They'll run on pretty much any, decent computer. You don't need a high-end gaming PC, and it's not a VR build. So sometimes we'll get people to help us with PC tests, and that's just our own little offline test or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And if anybody's available, I would like to try to do that this weekend to get one last test in. So if you guys are around, I'll send out an email or whatever with the link if y'all want to help with that.
I'll help.
Oh, yeah, man.
Of course.
Great.
Jimmy's like, yeah, I can't wait.
We'll help. You live it, man.
Do we have the viewer questions still to go through?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we've got loads.
Let's get to
Sweet.
it. So, these are not in any particular order. From Diz, how long will the beta be?
You mean in terms of how long will it be available to play?
Yeah, is it like Monday to Monday? Is it monthly? Is it,
Probably what we'll do is, and like I say, it just depends on how feedback goes. If we find a lot of bugs, we'll probably keep running until we squash the majority of bugs. But the plan is for probably about a week to a week and a half for the initial one. Go back, add stuff, fix stuff, and then come back and probably do it,
That's
about
what Call of Duty's doing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, so try to do one at least once a month until, we feel like it's ready for final release. So.
Sweet.
Superb. The next question's already been answered. You've said about squads. What's the size of the squads? This is from Diz. Basically, since player is so large, our team's broken down to squads of 4. And if you're in a party, will everyone be put into the same squads automatically?
You can change squads in the middle of the match, so you can just bring up your options, go down to squads, so you can switch squads on the fly.
Nice.
We originally were going to do, because of 16 players, we're originally going to do 4 squads of 4 players, but what I thought would be better would be to do 6-player squads, so that you would never have like a full set of squads. If you spawned in and you were the 16th player, there's no option to change. So this way, there'll always be the way, like if you get in with a couple of friends, you'll always have a squad with a few empty slots, so that you'll be able to change over and swap around or whatever. So.
Okay, this one's from 2%.
Nice.
The original Honor and Duty came out as a non-VR game. How much did transferring over to VR reflect in sales?
That's actually an interesting question because I would say, just going off my memory, I think the first couple of weeks of the VR update probably was a lot more than the first month or two of just the base game. But there's so it was very substantial. But you got to take into account that the base game, I was really bad at social marketing back then. That was back in 2016. I had no social, media footprint at all. I reached out to some review sites. Nobody, really knew much about it. So it didn't get a lot of buzz going into its launch. And also it launched at one of the worst times. I think it was around November. So you had the Call of Duty and all the big games launching. So, it really didn't have an optimal release. So I'm not sure how well it really would have done if I'd done things different. But the VR update definitely was a big boost. And it was well worth doing. I had no idea it was going to be that anticipated. So
this is
coming into the final. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say this is Battlefield for us. In VR, we don't have choices.
Right. Yeah, right. No,
that's right.
I mean, as soon as I heard like a hint of like, oh, this may come to VR, I bought it, and it was only like $1. So it was on sale. It was on sale.
Yeah.
It was cheap, and it used the aim controller, and I was like, that's all I wanted to hear.
But but when the beta did. I mean, it did finally come to VR. You guys were. It was the truth. It came to VR, and it worked. It worked for what it was. It worked. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping. I got higher hopes for D-Day. Is what I'm saying.
Me too. Everybody's been so excited about it. I just hope we don't let anybody down. I hope it comes out and it's playable, and there's just no major bugs. That's my big fear right now.
It sounds like you've put so much thought into it. I can't see that happening.
Yes.
Like you have put so much. You thought of everyone. It sounds to me like you've really put a lot of thought into it. So I'm sure that's not going to happen. So the next question is from Rakan too. Why did you choose World War II as the theme?
It's a good question. I
Best
think
war. No, I'm just kidding.
Best war. And I put a lot of thought in that question because I'm not really sure how we got onto the World War II, but we've just been doing it for a while. The original Honor and Duty came out on the Xbox 360 indie games, and it was just an avatar game. And so it was a World War II setting. So we just kind of carried over that for the launch, on the PlayStation 4. And then, we just kind of got into it. So it's, I don't know. At some point, we would like to do some other genres. But right now, World War II is just fun. There's a lot of neat things you can do.
I always find it interesting when, like, Call of Duty or other things, they go forward and then they come back. And it seems like whenever they go forward in the future of a game, everyone seems to go, I want to go back. I want to play World War I or World War II. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Kevin's on his way.
One thing I got to ask real quick is, as far as the World War II setting goes, like, are there Germans and Americans and is that how the teams play out, or like?
That's how it was in World War II. Like in World War II, you had them it was dope.
I'm just curious, is there some representation of some of that sort of more provocative stuff to put in a game, like if you're playing as the Germans?
Come
well,
down,
it's kind of interesting
GC.
because we had to make sure...
What's up? I was going to say I was going to break his legs, but he doesn't.
You made it, dude.
Legs made it still. Hey, guys, sorry I'm late.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Reggie.
Hey.
What's
Thank
up,
you for
guys?
coming.
What's up, man? That was awesome. That was great.
As you were, gentlemen.
Sorry, Reggie.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, that's actually an interesting question because the art we bought for this, it had a couple of texture sets, and one of them it had the swastikas in a lot of the in the uniforms and the flags and all that, and we had to make sure we used the right texture set to put just the Iron Cross instead of the swastikas.
Yeah, the Iron Cross.
Yeah, I mean, I know you want to keep it kind of cartoony and stuff, so, like, it's not Wolfenstein. Yeah.
No,
But one of the interesting things is we've actually got, in the art pack, we've got a character of Hitler. And, we've got Churchill and I think Stalin and Hitler. And so it's kind of like, it'd be kind of neat to put Hitler in there in some game modes, like, capture the, the enemy leader sort of thing. But I'm not sure that would, that might be a little too offensive. So it's
That's awesome.
I don't know.
So... I'm not sure. I know
Capture or
Germany's got some
protect.
pretty strict rules on that.
Reggie, can you
I
go?
imagine it would be tough to get
Oh, yeah,
released
there's
there.
some games
they-
that don't get released, yeah.
They would just, they would just be offended. That's all.
Reggie, just jumping off what you just said there. Can we? Can you elaborate on play modes, like gameplay modes?
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the viewer questions as well about the play modes. The open beta is going to have team deathmatch, and I'd hope to have free-for-all in, but it looks like we're not going to have that in for Tuesday. We might get that patched in late in the week. So those will probably be the initial open beta modes. For the full game, there's several we want to do. Attack and defend, capture the flag, a lot of the common ones.
Cool.
One that we came up with, and I don't know if this has been done before, so I'm not sure I can say I came up with this, but it was an idea I had, and so you tell me if it's been done before. But it's going to be kind of like on a rectangular playing field, and it's the best way to think of it is kind of like football. The object is to basically push forward to the enemy side and to push them back. And what you'll have, we're going to call it hold the line, and basically you'll have kind of like this line, and you can't pass the line if there's an enemy at the line. So basically the line goes as far forward as your player and stops when it hits the enemy. So you got to kill the enemy to keep pushing the line. And so it's kind of like, in a way, like football to push
I
to
really
the
like
other
that.
side.
No, I like that a lot. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, so it's just something we
That
thought
sort
might
of
be
has
different.
been done, I believe, in Battlefield, wasn't it? Where you
Little
basically
bit.
started in the middle and then you push one way or push the other. It's not quite what I don't think it's. I think you move
there's, like,
sections.
areas you need
Yeah.
to take
Yeah.
over, but it's not
Yeah.
exactly like.
But it's not exactly like that. But yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah, so
That's
that's
awesome.
one we were hoping will be somewhat new, or maybe not have been done too many times. But yeah, like I say, capture the flag, probably do a attack and destroy, some of those. So, but yeah, we want to have probably at least 4 or 5 different game modes. And I know there's been some discussion about Firewall not wanting to segment the community by doing different game modes. And probably what we'll do is just, it won't be the sort of thing you'll create a game, that's a team deathmatch game. It'll be like each round you can vote on the next map type, or really just random.
Oh yeah, we
That's a
need
really
that.
good way to
Oh
do it.
yeah, I love the voting thing. Yeah, voting is needed.
Yeah, of course, yeah, man.
So,
Reggie, what
so we'll
about
try to do
zombies? Are
even
we
maybe a
getting
map vote as well. Yeah.
Are we getting zombies?
Oh, please no zombies.
They've got to be Nazi zombies.
Yeah, Nazi zombies.
Nah, man, leave that shit to Call of Duty, man.
I'm joking. No, joking.
Yeah,
And we
got
do it once, try to,
we got Arizona Sunshine, Contagion coming out. Zombies are on the way, man. Don't worry about that shit.
So that was Met Club's question that we sort of already answered already, which was types of game modes. Is there any single player?
the original plan had been to do a multiplayer only, followed by a single-player expansion. So if you really were just into multiplayer, you could just buy the base multiplayer game, and then you didn't need to get the single player. We may, at this point, just wait a little bit longer and release the full game with single-player and multiplayer. But yeah, there's definitely been a single-player component planned all along. A couple things we want to do with the single-player is to have a social screen game. Where one of the game modes we were thinking about doing would be like you're in a town and there's a lot of AI players, like civilians walking around. This is like a town under German control. And either the VR player or the social screen player, the object is to talk them through the city. Kind of reminds me of the Matrix, where the guys are first coming to get Neo, and Morpheus is talking him through the office. So it's kind of like that feel. You got to tell them, okay, there's, hold right now, wait 1 second, okay, now move, So the goal is to guide the other person through the map because they can't see all the enemy players, but
Don't
the
you sound amazing?
player can.
That sounds awesome.
You guys have too many good ideas over there.
I know, it's incredible.
It's crazy.
Oh, God, we've got probably 6 or 7 other games not even related to Honor and Duty we want to do. It's just too many ideas, too little time sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I have a couple of people helping me out now, and that's really helping a lot. Cameron Brooks is a new artist we've got working with us, and he's done all the level designs and made some custom art in addition to the art we purchased. And then Ethan, I'm probably going to butcher his name, Ethan Moral Plume is another coder, and he's come out to help. So we're starting to kind of move a little faster now that we're starting to have a little more outside help, I guess, instead of me being the name of the programmer.
So how many of you are Strange Games? How many?
Strange Games is primarily myself plus a handful of contractors that I work with. Like I've had artists I would call up from time to time, but nobody really full time. But now Cameron and Ethan are starting to work with me on, I'd say, more of a part-time basis. They're pretty regular, week in and week out sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right now, I kind of consider maybe a 1.5 to 2 person studio.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So the next question is from Black Diamond 7120. These are all, a lot of these are from God Cannon's community. That's quite nice.
Game Cats. Thank you, Game Cats.
Yeah, man.
Everybody. Game Cats.
What type of locomotion and turning options? And is there any customization or character creation?
Ooh.
Well, the character creation will be the easy one. There's no current character customization just yet. I mean, we're just trying to get the basics, vehicles, and all that. So, but that's something we'd if the community's interested, we'd love to do that. But there's no real plans. I mean, the main thing will be to get the vehicles, and we've done some initial testing with destructible environments, and we'll probably
I was just going to ask that myself.
Yeah.
So there's not many games to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done some initial tests, and I don't think it's going to be any problem performance-wise to do the destructible environments. We might even have a little bit of that in towards the end of the first round of beta, so we'll see.
I know, man.
Amazing.
As soon as I can drive a car up to a place and shoot a rocket launcher out of the window and then drive through the building I just destroyed, that would be...
Well, right now, you should be able to...
dreams.
Well, right now, you should be able to hop in the... this should be what releases on Tuesday. Unless there's, major bugs. You'll be able to hop in a Jeep, 3 squad mates hop in the Jeep, and as you're driving around, both you and your squad mates can fire, from the vehicle.
Oh, that's amazing.
This is going to be
savage. I don't think we had discussed passengers.
I know, man. I'm ready.
I'm going to ask you about passengers, but that's awesome.
I'm ready.
Okay.
So now the driver will be, they'll only have their sidearm because they've got to have one hand on the wheel, but the passengers will have their primary weapon. So the driver will have, the sidearm. So it works great in VR, but if you're playing in flat mode, you really don't have the ability to target very well as a driver.
Okay, so, and are you planning on any type of, since it's the most popular thing right now, a battle royale mode?
Yeah, we'd like to do that. We've been kind of looking at some ideas on how to do that, and I think it'll definitely be something we do at some point. It'll probably be very likely after the launch.
No problem.
But, it's just be a matter of making big enough maps. Right now our maps aren't, even though they're a lot bigger than Arcade Edition, they're still not big enough for Battle Royale. So.
But you could do
Are non-VR players and VR players in the same space?
Oh, yeah, definitely possible.
Yes.
When you start doing maps of that size, if we did Battle Royale with 32 players, then that's one thing. But if we were to try to do 60 to 100 players, I'm not sure VR would have the performance.
I'm not saying you have to raise the player count. You can keep it the same and just let everybody kill each other. One for one,
what's Rec Room? 18, 20?
Rec Royale's.
Rec Room is Rec Room is only 18. If you can get 32, 32 is still beast. For VR.
Yeah. You could get 40 people in this room.
Really?
I'm sorry.
You can get 40 people in this room.
Well, for customs, but for the default Rec Royale, it's not 40.
Yeah, it's 16.
Yeah, but with a ton of lag probably too at the same time.
Yeah.
You could build a mini thing with a bunch of stuff in here that can support that.
It's certainly a feat though to try and.
So, but not so. I'm sorry. GT was saying about non-VR and VR playing together.
Well, I guess the question is that going to happen, or are they asking about any issues with that, or what exactly?
No, does it happen? Will you be with VR and non-VR players in the same game?
Oh yeah, definitely. There'll definitely be both. I mean, just like Arcade Edition, I didn't see anything in Arcade Edition that seemed unfair. It didn't seem to be, unbalanced one way or the other. I think flat players have a movement advantage, but I think VR players have a aiming advantage. I think you can just aim so much more precise. At least I can. I mean, I've never been great playing with a controller.
But what about like peeking advantages, like and maybe blind fire advantages around corners?
Yeah, what we want to eventually get towards is having kind of like what you have in Firewall, where you have very accurate weapon tracking. And right now, that's not going to be in the beta, and probably come closer to launch time before you'll see the weapon. So, if you've got a VR player and they're shooting around the wall, if you're a flat player, you should at least see the weapon come around the wall. Yes, so that'll be a little more tricky, but eventually we should get to that point. So
we're going to test that out.
I'll never play it flat anyway, to be honest, but yeah, I know what you're saying. What we got next? Grim Catnip. We like to hold gaming tournaments. What kind of matchmaking options are there? We sort of already covered that one, haven't we, really?
I'm not sure we covered the actual tournament stuff. I think they were wanting about doing tournaments, and yeah, we could certainly put something in there to do for y'all to hold tournaments if y'all are interested.
Yes, people love tournaments.
Huh?
People love probably doing cartwheels.
Not only within Gamertag's community, the PSVR Without Pro Gamecast community, we do like tournaments, events, community stuff to just kind of bring everybody together, socialize. So I think that's what he's more alluding to is, and we typically do have like a prize, like a $20 gift card or something at the end, and just curious on. I guess he was just curious on the different ways that'd
be awesome if you hosted it as well. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, we could certainly look into it.
Star power.
You're really smart.
Yeah, that'd be excellent.
Yeah, we could look at putting something into the game where you could create a tournament and then have it track players or whatever. So I don't think that would be too incredibly hard to put in at some point. So
very cool.
Yeah. Nice. And then the last comment, or the last question, sorry, I think is kind of a joke. Once the AI takes over the world, what are the long-term goals they might have for the planet or themselves? But you were saying anyway, so let's talk about AI. Let's talk about the AI models. You were saying basically if you end up in a game with 16 people, there will be 16 bots also playing.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was probably They're AI bots. So if you start up a game right now and nobody's online, it'll spawn in AI, so you have stuff to shoot at. And you actually can rank up right now shooting the AI. So, it's not just passing the time sort of thing. You can actually start ranking your character up.
So you got rank up level. How many? So you've got levels. Have you got a prestige mode, or what's the?
Not anything that advanced just yet. Right now we've got 2 different maps and rank up progression that'll unlock the characters. You got 4 character classes, and I need to set something up there to unlock the weapons. Right now they're all unlocked by default. So I'll hopefully have that in by the time it releases on Tuesday as a patch to have the weapons unlockable. One of the things we want to do is have this cash-based. The long-term goal is to have it to where you can buy your own vehicles. Because right now, when the game will start, there'll be a couple of vehicles in there, and they're just free vehicles for anybody to jump in. But you'll eventually be able to buy your own vehicles with gold you earn, in the matches or whatever.
That's clever.
And so you'll be able to spawn your vehicle in, and nobody can come jump in that unless you give them give them the keys or whatever, give them access to it, then they can drive it or whatever. So you won't, so you can have this vehicle and you spawn it in there, and when it gets blown up, it's done for the match, and then the next match you can spawn it in again. So it won't be like a consumable so much, but it'll be something that you earn cash to buy.
Yeah. That sounds incredible to me. I can't wait.
I remember I was reading earlier that you was looking into getting licenses for people getting the tanks as well, so that you had to kind of also be licensed to drive it as well. And then I think one of the things you were saying as well is that you wanted to make sure that the balance was right between the vehicles being in the combat as well as kind of the standard troopers. So do you think we're going to kind of see that in the beta? Do you think the kind of that nice even balance? Because I think was you saying there we're going to see the vehicles kind of all open straight away?
Right. The vehicles will be phased in kind of in stages. Right now, the vehicles are the biggest performance hit on the game right now. So we're only going to have a few in there on Tuesday unless I can, fix some of the performance issues by Tuesday. There'll only just be a few in there. And then once we get iron out the performance issues, then we'll have in Jeeps, tanks, and trucks. And trucks are kind of cool because you'll have, they're like the old troop transport trucks. And so you can have the driver and the passenger up front, and then the 2 in the back are actually facing out the back shooting or whatever, so you can drive around with them.
Wow, okay.
So if you're in the back, but so we'll have the German Jeep, the American Jeep, and the trucks, and then finally will be the tanks because they're also right.
Oh, tanks, man!
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I can't wait for tanks.
I think my question is, what haven't you thought of? It seems like you've got everything covered.
Yeah, man.
How can he answer? Wait, how can he answer that?
Yeah, he's like, I've done
It's a trick
everything.
question.
Yeah,
trick question.
exactly.
Yeah, trick question.
A rhetorical question.
Yeah. And,
So will there be just a tank mode, for example? Will there be just tanks or?
Somebody had asked about that, and I guess we could make a map that was really more vehicle focused. Yeah,
Well, that's a game in a game, isn't it?
Like that.
There's some games out there that just do that. They just have.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just saying, if you could make a game mode of that, I'm just asking. You know.
Yeah, we probably would need a lot more tanks. I'm thinking of, what was it, World of Tanks? I played that one a while back, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. That would probably make more sense to just do almost as a separate game and just, instead of trying to incorporate in just a tank. Because you'd need, I mean, I don't know how many tanks they had in that one, but it was quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
That's a good game.
So to do something like that, we'd probably just have to spend a couple of months just making nothing but tank models. And there's actually a lot of setup to make those tanks. You've got to set up positions in the tank for the players, for the standing, for the sitting, for the periscope, camera positions. I mean, it's really time-consuming just to set up
You
one
took
tank.
on a lot, man. Like, you see the shell come out once you fire and stuff, and there's just all these little bits that I've been seeing in your videos, and it's the attention to detail is fantastic.
Thanks. Yeah, one of the things I think is really cool is the overhead planes, and that was something Ethan did. He worked on that by himself, and I thought it turned out fantastic. You're sitting there in planes, look them flying over, and they'll be shooting at each other, and sometimes you'll see one crash in the middle of the map, and you got all these background sounds, and so I think it really helps with the immersion. But he did a great job on that.
Yeah, for sure.
This is all happening while you're in battle in the multiplayer.
Right.
No way.
Right. Yeah. Wow. So cool. But I'll say it's kind of trickery because the planes are not synced, so what you see is not what somebody else sees. They're just, because they don't really interact with the gameplay. So it's just when you go in, your planes are not the same as somebody else's. So
right, it's an illusion. But I mean, that sounds incredible though. Nobody else really pays attention to that kind of detail. So
I know.
Yeah. So eventually we want to let you be able to shoot at them too with the flat cannon. So you might at some point be able to actually shoot them down. So at that point, though, we will have them synced. So.
Reggie, talk about pricing now, and I know you don't want to talk about launch date because you're still not sure on that, are you? But I mean, are you allowed to talk about the price of the game?
Oh yeah, that's not anything confidential. But all along, our plan had been to release the multiplayer only for $10 and the single-player expansion for $5. So if we do a combined game, it'll probably be $15 if it's multiplayer only.
everybody go out and buy this day one. You can
Day
afford
one.
it.
Well,
When he told me, I was like,
yeah, but they don't even need to spend any money yet. They could try it on Tuesday. I mean, it's coming up, yeah.
Tuesday first.
But of course, I mean, when it comes time, that's nothing. That's,
Yeah.
that's
amazing.
That's an excellent price point, man.
That's incredible.
Is the leveling, the ranking up that's in the beta going to carry through to the full release?
Oh, good one.
No, it won't because it'll be it's like two totally different games. Each one has a different, different product SKU. So I don't know if there's a way we could do that or not, but
I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm keeping an eye on Gamertag's chat right now because we can't see comments in the headset. Broken. But people are freaking out about that price. They love it.
Excellent.
Here's my money, buying it, sold.
I know, it's crazy.
Somebody said to buy it twice. Take my money and the jam
Buy a
cart
copy
on
for your
time.
friends.
That's
Buy a
funny.
copy
That's
for
funny.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's
so
incredible.
Saying,
I just
Reggie,
hope
they really
everyone will be
appreciate your
patient with
openness
anything.
about everything, and
Yeah,
that
thank
you're,
you.
they're saying you're the nicest dev.
And I appreciate you guys have been fantastic, and I appreciate all the support everybody's been. I mean, I always say as a small studio, exposure and this word of mouth is just so hard to it's
This
so
is what we
valuable.
do, baby.
See, exactly. At the end of the day, you've got cameramen all around you. That's what it's all about. It's
Oh, God,
exposure.
now that I've said I'm looking at chat, people are directing questions to me to ask.
Go on.
Not sure I understand this one, but will the social screen mode be in PvP action? I don't know. I'm not
PvP probably, right? Like, will people be able to interact in a PvP setting as well?
Yeah, so will it be like a multiplayer, what, a person be person, I'm imagining, something like that?
Yeah.
Because you were saying someone to be in the game, someone to be telling the other person when to like cross the road without being seen.
Right.
Would there be maybe on the other side, maybe a place to get to, sort of thing? Or, you know? Is it?
Well, let's see, when they're asking about PvP, I'm not sure if they meant like if it was you're playing against the person or playing with them. And actually, I was thinking that it's been a while since we had spec'd these out. It was part of our game proposal with Sony when we had kind of, spec'd these out when we were doing single player. And I think one of the modes we had talked about doing was kind of like it would be a PvP where one person played as like the occupying German soldier and the other person played as the resistance. And so you couldn't see. And so the kind of the challenge would be for the player playing as the resistance to blend in like an AI, to move like an AI. And your object is to get across the map, and the German soldier's objective is to find
that. That is really, really good in VR. So there's a game called Pixel Gear. That, I mean, it's like a launch title. Yes. Nobody talks about it. It's kind of
I remember. I played it.
There's a mode where somebody plays with the DS4, and you're trying to basically, it's up to 3 people, I think, and they're trying to blend in as things in the environment, like a tree or a rock, but they move when you're not looking at them to try and get closer. So it's like that kind of same, finding them.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's actually a game on the, I remember when we were doing games on the Indies game channel on the 360, there was somebody released a game, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was on that same lines. It was like everybody was trying to act like an AI, but shoot, to find the other players or whatever. So
I've seen that. Yeah, it's cool.
I wish I could remember the name of it, but I think it did real well. It was a lot of fun. So so we're thinking about doing something kind of along those lines.
I like that.
So,
that was like from Assassin's Creed's multiplayer. They did that where you were just trying to act like an NPC, and then you would sneak up on somebody and slice their neck or something, whatever it was. It was fun.
What I think that
for a minute.
This is in the chat.
Reggie, what I think that Dave's chat might be asking you is, can somebody play on the social screen as a flat character while their buddy plays in VR, so 2 of them are in the same match?
you mean, okay, so like playing online or whatever, too.
I can read his follow-up question, actually.
So that's local multiplayer, Shug.
Yeah, but but within a 32-player match.
No, hold on. I got the follow-up. He says, so will players be able to work almost like a team from one PS4, the social screen, helping guide the VR headset to whatever's in the environment? So that's in that one mode you described, but is that in the online?
No, that would be in the single-player expansion.
Gotcha, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so it'd be offline.
I think we got that answered now.
But in regards to the other question, to do the local multiplayer like that, I don't know that we'd be able to do that because VR is already, very performance sensitive, and basically what you'd be doing in that case is rendering the entire scene twice, once in the headset and then once. So probably wouldn't be able to. Now on the Pro, it might be an option, but you can't do anything on the Pro that you don't do on the base unit.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. You can only.
It's really like rendering it 3 times too, because you have to render it once for each eye, right, in the headset.
We actually, you have single pass and dual pass, and we do single pass right now. So I think it's only rendering it once. So, but yeah, you're right that in some cases you could be rendering it 3 times.
Can I just quickly jump in on this render thing? Because that's one of the questions that I was wondering. How are you getting around the sniper rifle situation? Because Firewall didn't put in magnification because they had to render it twice, etc.
It's actually. I don't have scopes on the sniper rifles yet.
Okay.
But we do already have that in place. In the tank, you actually have like a little periscope in front of you. And you can literally take and put your head up to the periscope and immediately you see into the scope. Or you can just push the left trigger if you're lazy. But so we're already rendering. So as you're driving the tank, you can look at, in VR, you can look at that periscope and you literally see the texture moving. It's rendering. So we're already rendering, like what you're talking about. So
that's awesome.
But again, that's I haven't done that in 32-player matches, so that might be an issue. But from what I've seen so far, I don't think it's going to be a killer deal. I mean, there's some things you can do in the rendering of that to you don't do all your effects and all that on that camera. So, but we are already doing it, but I haven't tested that in a player match with 32 players yet. So.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
man. Incredible.
Yeah, so we might have to take that out so that the texture really doesn't change until you go into the actual periscopes.
Yeah. Perfect.
Reggie, would you do other classes in the game? For example, like if in Battlefield, there's the engineer class, which I quite enjoy. Would you do like
we actually have
class
4 classes right now. We've got the assault, engineer, medic, and the the heavy. So I'm not sure all the ability right now. The medic self heals, and
Kind of did this in the first game, right?
yes,
they
it's
did
very
that.
similar
It's
to the
kinda,
first
yeah.
game. So, and let's see. I think the heavy has access to weapons. Some of the classes don't have access to all the weapons. So
Okay, that's what I was going to
we don't have all the class benefits in just yet. So the thinking is that the assault will have access to all the weapons. The heavy, except like the rocket launcher that only the heavy can wield. The medic will auto heal players around them, and they'll get bonus points for healing other teammates. The engineer runs faster. The heavy has more damage and takes less fall, or has more health and takes less fall damage.
medic, for sure.
That's cool.
So, quick question from the chat again. Ryan from VR Grid actually popped in.
Yeah.
Says,
Hey.
how are the pregame lobbies going to be set up? So, will you be in a lobby kind of like Firewall, or is it just like you waiting at a flat screen and then you all plop?
Do you know what? To add on that, sometimes some games you can't invite people. So I take it, can we have a private lobby, or can we take the private lobby into the public, or?
Right now, it's just if you create a game, it's public. So, at some point we'll see. But I think there's some matchmaking things we can do that we have to do through Sony to set up game invites and all that. So we'll look at doing that at some point. I'm trying to think there might be an easier way to do that. Anytime you have to use the Sony APIs, it's a little more involved. We have to look up, the documentation on the APIs. There's a lot to it. But if we do it ourselves, then it's just whatever we want to do ourselves. And I'm thinking we might get set up where you create a game and you create a password and you just send it to your friends and they use that password. That might be something simple.
Yeah,
to
that
do.
could work.
Yeah.
But if we have to do
that's
the
what
Sony-
was in Eve, I think. Yesterday we had that in Eve because someone wanted to join who wasn't my friend, so we just gave them the code and they could join the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could. That would be something that wouldn't be too hard to do. But I think they've got session invites, and like I say, I'm not sure how that works. So that'd take a little bit of time just to figure out and to do all that.
Well, so to piggyback off of that, have we talked about PS Plus yet? Is that going to be required for online play? I know some games don't require it, some do.
Pretty much any paid game must do it per Sony's
So
guidelines.
that's how
unless
Rec
it's-
Room gets around it. Okay.
Yeah, if it's free.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So and I didn't realize it, but the beta actually doesn't require that. Now we put it in just because we thought it had to be in there, and then literally after we've already submitted everything, we find out it's actually optional. So probably what we'll do is maybe in the second phase open it up to non-Plus members.
It's a good idea.
It'd probably be good to kind of ease into it.
yeah.
Just I have no idea what the response will be, so so it might be good to kind of do it with a smaller subset the first week.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But yeah, if we
Excellent.
launch it and there's not a massive crowd, then we may open up, during some of the patches in the first week. So we'll just see how it goes.
I think there's going to be a massive crowd.
Yeah, so
Hopefully.
Based on Gamertag's chat, people are really excited about this one.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Oh, I
Great,
can't. As soon as I started
32-person
hearing about
multiplayer,
it.
that's vehicles?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's huge. It's like you said, it's our Battlefield. It's like,
Commando.
Yeah, you are covering all the bases. Literally, you're expanding
And then
on
some.
every idea into another idea, and you can't ask more than that as a gamer.
Well, thanks. Yeah, now in the like I said, so just to temper everybody's expectations, the open beta will only have a couple of vehicles unless I can get all the performance stuff worked out by Tuesday. So you only have a couple of vehicles in each map, and then, like I say, once the performance stuff is ironed out, then you'll have a bunch of vehicles, and then eventually tanks. So tanks won't be in the. You can go into the practice round and play with the tanks. So in the open beta on Tuesday, you can drive a tank. It'll just be offline and in the training grounds there. So you can go out there, and we've got a firing range where you can practice with a machine gun and shoot at targets, and you can shoot them all up. That'll respawn, and then you can go over to the range where there's a bunch of vehicles up down the range, and you can practice firing the gun and hitting the vehicles. So you can do that right now. It's a little rough. So there are a few. I think if you're using a move controller, there's a few little bugs we've still got to iron out there. But eventually, like I say, the tanks by the time we get into the final phases should be into the matches.
Whose hands are they? Whose hands are
sorry,
those? Is that Lewis's hands?
that's Lewis.
Yeah, that's Lewis's hand.
No, that brings back a familiar feeling, though, because if
at
you
my
remember, most games back in the day, they would only have like a limited amount of vehicles. Everybody would be rushing towards those vehicles first.
Yeah.
Only a couple would get it, and then, the rest would just jump on back. So, that's
Battlefield.
VR, not limitations.
still like that.
That's really how it's, that's how
Oh,
it
yeah.
is by the norm. So, that's,
Okay.
yeah.
So a couple of questions from me. consoles owned in the past. So what's your favourite gaming sort of history? You know what I mean?
Nice.
What was my favorite game?
Yeah, so like for me, my favourite console, one of my favourite consoles was the Sega Dreamcast and the Amiga 1200.
Yeah.
PS1.
Yeah, preach, brother.
PS1.
Well, for me, going back to the PS1 days, I used to play Tekken 2 a lot.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we used to go over to the arcade. When they
Soul
still used to have
Blade.
arcades in the mall, and I was working in an IT firm, and we'd go over there.
Pound it real quick.
The respect.
But there was like about 4 of us, and we'd go across, and there were other guys from other companies that come across. We all meet at the arcade, and we would have Tekken matches during our lunch break. So, and I went and bought my first PlayStation just so I could go home and practice Tekken 2 so I could beat these guys. But yeah. So that was really my starting consoles. But I would say Resistance was probably my favorite game. I used to play that all the time.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. And I think they had, 64 player matches. It was kind of funny that you never...
Resistance 2.
Yeah.
Dude, what was the big one? What was it? Mag.
Mag,
It was
yeah.
128
Mag
players.
was,
Oh, yeah.
And they used the sharpshooter and everything.
Yeah. I had the move controller, didn't it, and the nav controller, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
Yeah,
crazy.
man.
Yeah, and
Resistance
actually
2,
at some
though.
point, and it might be in the next game, but yeah, we definitely want to incorporate a lot of mag things in there, like fragos and objectives and stuff. I've always wanted to do a game where you had like a commander who would set objectives and literally, gave orders, and people were really incentivized to follow those orders. And
Battlefield
one of
did
the
that.
ideas I've kind of, what's that?
I said Battlefield did that too.
Yeah.
You
Someone
can
got.
tell your team. You can suggest stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they ever listened to him, but yeah.
Yeah, that was the problem in mag is,
No, it didn't for me.
Yeah, I mean, even in MAG with the objectives and all, still people would just go off and do their own thing. So, I think the trick is to finding something to where you really get, you can really get people to follow the orders and work as a team.
XP. People who do anything for XP or cash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, we'll see. So I've got some ideas for that. So down the road, one of the ideas I've actually thought about was making a game and basically releasing 2 versions that could play alongside each other. So you'd have like one was a paid game, and in that one you were like a commander and you could basically spawn an army. And then you had a free game that anybody could download and play for free, but you were limited in what you could do. And you basically joined somebody's army and you worked for them basically to win their battles. So that's kind of an idea, something I like to do down the road. And instead of free to play, I would call it free to serve. You go serve in their army and you can earn stuff or whatever. So.
Brilliant.
But yeah,
That's
you don't
awesome.
follow orders, they kick you out of the army, and you get a bad rating, and then nobody wants to let you play on their army or whatever. So the people who buy the game kind of control who plays in their, in their matches or whatever. So that's
That is
one idea.
wicked, dude. That is wicked. Has anyone else got anything for Reggie? Because we've got a few games we need to cover that have come out recently.
Let me check the chat one more
I
time.
got a quick question while Dave's
worries.
checking. Reggie, what about sound assets? Have any of those carried over from the last game, or are we doing new gun sounds and?
Good question. Yeah, actually, I mean, we started with the old game and moved everything over, so you'll still see like the spawn screen still looks pretty much identical to the old one. The intro screens are different. But yeah, I just literally was just working on the guns the past few days, swapping out all the sounds, so it should have all new sounds.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I didn't want people to feel like, well, this is just kind of a reskin of Honor, it was just new maps. So yeah, we've tried to change out everything.
Do you know, I don't think anyone's going to think that after today. Anyone's going to think that after today.
Just one more question. In the first game, you had, when you were shooting, it was a one-on-one kind of when you were shooting each other. Kind of looked like the person wasn't like facing you, when they shot you or killed you. Have you fixed that issue for the second game?
Yeah, I will say it should be fixed. I hate to say it's definitely fixed. And,
I guess we'll check it at beta.
Guess we'll find out.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't
just
seen
wanted
it.
to know.
It is,
Okay.
Yeah, the problem with that was at the time we were using a middleware package, and the way it worked, I can't remember the exact details, but it was just going to be a real pain to make that work because of the way the animations work. The animations basically change the character's position. So if you line the character up facing the one way, and then the animation, changes the guy and his hands are pointing this way, it causes all sorts of issues because the next animation is gun, So anyway, there were just some real things that made that hard. So anyway, now that we've coded everything from scratch, yeah, the players look exactly. I've spent some time having them look all the way up and then going and looking and see where that's pointing on the other screen and all the way down and, and calibrating. And so they should be fair, as spot on as we can get. The only exception to that now is as a VR player, if you're looking this way and then you take and point your gun this way, right now they're going to see where you're looking. But since most people are kind of, are looking and shooting in the same direction, it shouldn't be too big of an issue right now. But we do have an asset we purchased just to sync up the weapons. And it's what they call an IK package, inverse kinematics. And it basically says, you point the gun here, and it puts his arms up to follow exactly where that gun be. And that's what they do in Firewall.
Cool.
So the trick there is it takes more data to send out the position of the gun and its rotation. So right now, we have to send out the player's position, the rotation, and then additionally, the gun's position and rotation, which can be different. So that adds more network overhead, and we're already kind of bumping up on a limit with our network provider on what they want us to send out. So that's why right now you're not going to see that. But
you played Firewall.
I have not played Firewall yet. I've been I don't get a chance to play many games right now.
You need to take a break and play some Firewall.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say nothing. I was like, okay.
Now, it's funny you would think as someone who literally works in the industry, I would be up on all these games, but I've played maybe a couple of different games in the past year. I just feel like I'm always busy working and.
That's what we're here for.
You're making magic for us.
Exactly,
We're okay. I'm okay with
We
that.
appreciate it, man. We always see you when you drop by and say hi, and you're like, "Oh, I'm just working on a game, saying hi real quick." That's so awesome of you, man.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, as I'm sitting there working, if a YouTube notification pops up or whatever, I try to always answer, a comment or whatever. If I see somebody's live streaming, I'll pop in. I may not always comment, but I'm often watching. So.
Ideal.
Good man.
You're always welcome to come crash our chats.
Always.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you very much, Reggie, for all that information. And as Dave said, everyone, to be so open and talk about your experiences with developing PlayStation VR is incredible.
Sure. Oh, yeah. I was actually just repeating
absolutely.
what chat said. That was just from chat. But I agree, obviously, with that. But,
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really good. Yeah. Every time we meet someone, you learn something a bit. Another vision or another way of looking at developing. So it's really cool.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I just kind of fell into it. I never really planned to go into this, and it just kind of an opportunity opened up with the indie games on the Xbox, and just kind of.
That's got to be the question, dude. Why VR? What happened? What was the moment?
Why did we get into doing VR?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, it's been so long now since I've been so focused on doing it for Honor and Duty, but I think it just seemed like it was something neat, and I wanted to try it. And I reached out to Sony when the AIM controller was going on. I said, hey, we'd be interested in putting this in the Honor and Duty. So they sent an AIM controller before it was even out on the market, so we could start doing some work on it. And it just once I start doing it, it's just like, man, this is the future. I mean, it's just totally.
Buddy.
Was it something that you ever thought of was going to come around to like the kind of mainstream how it's rising up? Was it something that you ever imagined was going to come around, or did it just pop up and you were like, hey, this is kind of cool, I'm going to check it out?
You mean VR or working
VR.
I never really thought it would, be this mainstream this soon and work so well. I mean, I think the tracking, for the headset's just amazing. I mean, in the AIM controller. The moves still, obviously have some work, and they've got some drift issues. But for the most part, I mean, it really works very well. And, what I think is going to be amazing is the next, round of hardware that comes out.
Yes, sure.
Analog sticks. We're the test guinea pigs.
Yeah, Lewis.
yeah, we're the early adopters here. So, but
we are the beginners. We are the pioneers.
No, we lost.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Man. He looks like he needs a drink.
Well, the 20 years down the road when someone asks us what a favorite console was, we're gonna go, oh man, you remember the PSVR? That was awesome.
I'll be sitting in a wheelchair, bruh.
Yeah, just like what you had to put a headset on. Yeah, I mean, that'd be putting contacts in.
Back in the Oasis.
The cable.
The glowing balls.
Oh man.
I remember. You remember? I remember.
Yeah, I remember.
So, we need to push on with the games that have come out this month. But thank you very much, Reggie. Are you going? Do you want to stick around? Have you played? You did say you haven't played many games this month, so
no. I mean, I've been working on this full time. So Fortnite's about the only thing I'll take a break and play. You know.
Oh man, kids are all
pick up and play.
It's just a quick, easy
It's a
fun.
fun casual, yeah.
You'll find that with Firewall, Reggie. Seriously, you just jump in, do a match.
No, he's going to have a few minutes and he'll spend it in a lobby, and then you're like, I got to get back.
Well, so that's the danger. You know, I got sucked into Fortnite and got, you know,
Well,
so
the
I don't
nature
need
of
to get sucked into
Firewall
something
is
that's going to keep me from developing.
the nature of Firewall is just one more, just one more.
I
Just
know.
one more.
yeah.
Just one more. Just one more.
Let's get the damn
I
gem.
can't afford that right now.
That's what the first Honor and Duty was like too. I remember I was playing with a group of cats and like we were just we'd be playing and just one more. Soon it was like 11 more one mores. I mean, it's so addicting. It's so accessible with the aim.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of games with the aim that felt really good yet. And Honor and Duty,
No, that's
the
right.
arcade edition was one of the first ones. So
Yeah.
and then the price point. Everybody was like, "Well,
The price
I'll pick
point.
it up."
Oh,
yeah.
Price point was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, it wasn't out in the EU, so I think I sent Seraphim some money so he could play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. That price point, because literally, I think we were streaming it, and people were like, "Oh, I'll quickly buy this." It was like £5 or £4.
Exactly.
Well, how much was it, Jimmy?
Yeah.
About £5,
People would just happily just that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah, it
crazy.
tends to get into sales every couple of months, so you can pick it up pretty cheap every now and then. I think it's actually
When it
on
comes to
sale
the
again.
when it comes to
Yeah,
the
your
sales,
game's on
Reggie, do you? Sorry, Jason.
Oh, his game's on sale right now. The original Honor
Yes.
Duty. Yeah,
Oh,
it's on
wicked! The
sale right
arcade
now.
edition.
It's
Oh,
like
okay. I knew it was coming
$3
up.
in
I
the
didn't
US.
realize it was already on.
Yeah, it's like
Do you-
$3 in the US right
Reggie,
now.
do you choose when your games go on sale on the PlayStation Store, or do you have? Do you know who picks that?
You can basically do your own sale, but they have official sales that you can request to be part of, and then they'll let you know if you've been accepted into it. So you have some control over it, but you can't just say, when they have like a flash sale, you can't just say, oh, I want to be in that and get in it. So there is some.
So the fact Arc Park that not that I bought it or probably will buy it. It never goes on sale for me to even attempt to want to play it to try it.
I never. Yeah. I never
It's
bought that.
always 45 quid. That
Yep.
game. Always.
That's crazy.
No sale, no
It's
buy
so
for me.
expensive.
What's that? Loading Human is still like $50-$40 somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
most
man.
of the
I just want
sales
to
they
try
do
some
have
games.
Just think you could
I
buy
was going to say,
two of
most of the
his
sales
games.
they do have a theme, so, they would have to wait for, a sale that was appropriate to, what they were doing. But, yeah, if they wanted to put it on sale, they definitely could.
I'd just say some games should just straight up be free. Like, they're so bad.
I mean, Arc Park is built like a free-to-play mobile game. Like, you got to sit there and wait like 8 hours if you catch a dinosaur.
egg to hatch?
Yeah.
I told Paul to sit on it.
Oh, yeah, I was watching this stream. That was funny. That was really funny to watch it. The thing is, the game Art Part actually looks decent graphically. Oh, when I watch it, it looks decent. I haven't played it, though. So,
I only played it on the
refused.
OG. I never played it on the Pro. So, I don't know. But
Yeah.
it didn't look great. OG.
I heard it was
you're
flat.
finding a difference. Oh, right, yeah. Right, so, games we need to talk about. And this is no order, right? So, the first one is Apocalypse Rider.
Yeah.
Wait, do we need to talk about Apocalypse Rider?
Yes.
I didn't buy it.
I know
God
God
Cannon
likes
loved
it.
it.
I know God Cannon likes it.
It was
God
amazing.
God
No,
Cannon
it's-
likes a lot
okay,
of
look.
games.
That's true. That's true. I liked it more than Viking Days. Okay, that should say a lot.
Well, it's better than Viking Days, but that's not a high bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
No. Okay. Let me. I'll take this one over, boys.
Shockhead's video of
I'll
Viking
take this
Days.
one over. So, Apocalypse Rider is essentially like a mobile game. It's very not a high quality. Don't expect anything. You only get a couple hours of fun out of it, but it's $5. And it has a great soundtrack. It has vehicles to choose from. They've got spikes on them and stuff, motorcycles with spikes. Come on, guys. Come on.
Cannon, I'm with
Case
you.
closed.
I'm with you.
Thank you.
I'm with you. I actually enjoyed it. I did enjoy
Yeah,
it.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. It is just, that's what it is. It's okay. In that price margin of £5, for me, it's okay.
Nobody
it's a nice
uses
time
their
waster.
damn turn signals in that game, and it drives me crazy because the cars.
Who's
Yeah,
gonna use
but then
the
why
turn
is there
signal
so
on
much
the-
traffic?
Like
Everybody's still driving around. Even in Mad Max, there was like, there's
Two cars in the road,
they all
two cars in the
together
desert.
on it.
Did they use turn signals in Mad Max? Or did
But
they
here's
just
what I'm
drive
saying.
around going,
No, hold on. But in
"Witness
Mad
me!"
Max, they weren't using existing roads and driving normal-ass cars.
And you had guns. You didn't need a turn signal. You had a gun.
Also, there were no roads. It was just sand
Turning left.
and desert. So what's the point of a turn
maybe
signal?
they'll add turn signal DLC. Or
They
something.
better.
Well, guys, I guess I better get on out of here. I've got still a bunch of stuff to do.
Of course you have, Reggie.
Thank you so much, Reggie.
Thanks, Reggie.
All right, Reggie. One more five for the road. Thanks for coming. Reggie.
Yeah, I'm coming over for that.
I'm running out of time myself.
Handshake.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Thank you very much, Reggie. Cheers, dude. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, we got to do a picture with you before you go.
Well done, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, do a picture.
Totally.
All right, so if everybody could just line up here, I'll put
Who's
the
a
camera.
good GT?
And I'll send it this time. I won't forget. That is my promise.
You're drinking already, dude.
Oh yeah.
Better, Reg.
All right, so
You were
always,
asking me
tool
where
us-
I was.
tool us
I
in the
was
back.
like sneaking, getting donuts and beer, man.
sorry, I'm trying to get in so everybody can get in there.
Oh, I gotta get in there.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Remember, you can fly so we can get out of the way. That's right, Reggie. You stay down the bottom. You actually,
right.
Reggie, that's it. Cool.
We were good.
I get in here somewhere. There we go.
Oh,
I want a blackout cannon.
Who's that? Who's... Hold on, let me move. I've got Shugged.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Everybody ready?
Kinda.
Ready, I think. Am I in any
Yeah.
way?
Everybody yet?
Nah, man.
You all good?
Secret
Cool.
monkey.
2, 1.
Am I the only one that smiled when they took the picture?
I smile too. No, I smile too, dude. I got my thumbs up and everything. I'm smiling and shit.
We're too edgy and cool for smiling.
Dude, I nearly dropped my mobile phone.
It's like a
table.
reflex. It's more of a reflex for me. It's like a camera smile.
He's uploaded it to recroom.net.
Yeah, I've already shared it right now, so you can have that picture on your computer there.
Jimmy.
How you
And I'm
doing?
trying to.
What's up, Dal?
So we talking about other games now? Because
Yeah, man, I've got 3 or 4 games. That's it.
Apocalypse Rider.
5
For
or
some
6.
reason, because I
okay,
once I shared it.
we got Apocalypse Rider is done, right? Let's
We
go.
peaked.
Hold
We
on.
peaked.
Wait, one more second.
Reggie, see you later, Reggie.
All right, see you.
I
It's
need
cool.
to-
Thanks again, guys, for doing this.
Okay.
This was fantastic. Y'all did a great
Reggie,
job, and I really appreciate
you
it.
are the man.
Looking
Thanks.
forward to next
Thank
week.
you.
All right, me too. We'll see you guys online.
Thank you.
See you later, Reggie.
man.
Bye-bye.
See you in the beta.
Peace. So, next game, Zone of the Enders by Konami. The second runner. Anyone played it?
Also
Pretty
fantastic.
good.
Yeah.
They turned it
Yeah,
around
for
so
sure.
much from that first demo. And
Wait,
it
can
kinda
I see what
sucks that
Ryan is
people
saying in the chat?
Still have. Oh, Ryan didn't like it. He thought it was boring.
I know.
Whatever. Well, I mean, if
Well,
you
Zone of the
already
Enders.
like Zone of the Enders, then it's incredible. But if you have never played it and you have no affinity for it and you don't
Yeah.
care about mechs or anime or anything like that, of
Yeah,
course you're gonna be
exactly.
like, well, this is boring. I don't want to watch all these anime people talk about mechs.
I thought it got pretty boring after a while. Like after like 3 hours, I was done. Like it was pretty.
Did you just switch over to action only, like skipping cutscenes?
I
Every
did.
cutscene and
I
you're
ski-
done with that. Like,
I did skip the cutscenes. I'm talking 3 hours of gameplay, and I was like, "This is getting really old." I just really stale for me. It's not my thing.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I loved it, and it was a bitch to stream. It really was. It was either like full-on action or loads of talking. I didn't ever feel like I
It's a
could,
real
talk.
convoluted in story and stuff. Yeah,
Well,
but the gameplay is so good. The graphics look
Yeah, I
really
loved
good.
it. The graphics are incredible,
It's very
and also
stylistic.
it's Konami. Do you know what I mean?
It's
Maybe it's the
Konami.
start
Kojima.
of
Yeah.
PS2 coming to VR.
well, yeah, I mean that
Praise
classic
Kojima.
Konami game is going to have a lot of convoluted cutscenes that take forever, and at least you can skip
yeah.
them. Like Metal Gear Solid, even now in this day and age, has cutscenes you can't really skip.
This is
Yeah,
why
it's like-
this is why no more right. This is why more multiplayer games like COD and stuff are not adding single player shit anymore. It's just all multiplayer. It's all There's no story. There's no cutscenes. There's no. I just want to shoot people. You know.
Yeah.
So they've been doing away with that type of shit.
I do appreciate the blast from the past, though, of seeing a game that just went full on with that.
Yeah.
Bring
Oh, man.
every
It's a classic in
PS2
its own
game
way.
back
Yes.
and put it into VR.
Yeah,
I was watching footage. I was watching footage for Alien vs Predator from the PS3. It's a multiplayer game, and dude, man, it's a first person. It was so bad, and it didn't get good reviews. But in VR, I would totally play it like all the time.
I liked that game.
Yeah, man. Me too. I actually liked it. I played it, and no one was online.
I was the only multiplayer. We probably played against each other. There were like 2 people online.
All right, guys. So the next one is the. What's that, Jimmy?
I'm saying Army of Two was a good game as well.
Yes, loved Army of Two and Army of Two Part 2.
That was a great game.
Man, that was a wicked game. That was really good.
Yeah,
that was
first
excellent.
high five and bump the shit in your game. I'm like, what's up, dude? Yeah. I was like, this is awesome.
They look badass. The Megaton Rainfall move update, or the update of the update. Has anyone tried
updates? Yeah.
Yeah, man, the update of the update. Has anyone tried that?
Yeah, how is it?
It's
I
really,
have. I know you have.
Yeah, man. He actually got rid of the blinders, and it plays as it should. Yeah, it's cool. It's good.
Yeah, I saw Seraphim play it too, and I think it got a little fixed. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's whatever happened with that update prior to that, I'm not sure. He added blinders. You had to break your neck to turn corners, and now he's fixed it. So that's really cool. Dark Eclipse, that come out for free. I believe, Dave, you got a code for that, didn't you? Or did everyone try it?
Yeah, I actually did like a mini review in my PSVR digest.
Yeah.
I think it seems okay, but if you're into MOBAs, you might be disappointed because it seems really basic. Like, I don't know how deep the strategy can get. The commands you have are very simple. It's like just move here, and then your character will automatically attack stuff around it. And you can add more troops and stuff, once you get points. But it's really, there's not a whole lot going on. And playing against the AI, there's no difficulty settings, so you just get wrecked. And then there's not enough people online to have like a full community. It's still a beta.
So it's funny you should say that. That was
but
the first comment I got back was this looks very simplistic to be called a MOBA. So it's good that you said that.
It is.
Yeah. Cool.
And
anyone else
the movement
played
scheme
that?
is weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyone else play Dark Eclipse?
Nope.
No, I don't have an EU account, so I didn't.
I've not tried it yet. But I'd imagine they're trying to. I'd imagine they're trying to test the water first with a basic form of it, and then maybe they'll build on it. But you guys notified. I've seen you guys notifications about it, and I've got it downloaded to try because I've been unwell this week, so I've not time to play it.
I just know a lot of people.
Get yourself a donut.
I just know a lot of people that played it back in the. There was actually a beta for it for the EU back in like April, May, and
really?
they played it.
Wait,
they
another
actually.
Beta?
Yeah, there was. It was.
This
Yeah,
is a
it was
beta
a
too,
secret.
I thought this was the beta. Yeah.
No, this wasn't like publicly stated or anything. But yeah, they got the codes.
okay.
They played it. They actually played with the developers and stuff. Said that the AI was actually too easy, so they had to play it
must
with
have gone
like
the
other
other
people.
way.
But yeah, they actually said it was really good. It was because it never actually got released. It kind of went into the dark that they never got to play it with a bunch of people and experiment
it's
more.
actually
The Dark
like,
Eclipse.
It's officially being published by Sony.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it's
is.
going to be kind of a flagship game, I think, or at least.
And
they're
you know it's
pushing
by
it that way.
Sunsoft, and Sunsoft has been around
Has a good
for-
history.
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
Sunsoft is
a long
And
time.
so,
They
as
make
far
SNES
as that
games
goes,
and
like
stuff.
the polish looks good, like the character designs and the.
I was going to
voice
say the
acting.
character
yeah.
design and
Oh,
the
yeah.
artwork
Really
looks
cool.
fantastic.
the hands
Yeah,
and everything.
It's awesome.
Can
The
you
one
get out of
thing
the
that
couch, Dave?
I really don't like about the way they implemented the controls is like if you use the DualShock 4, there are so many things you'd want to do in a game like that, like rotate your view or like, move with the analog stick. But they just took the existing move layout and plopped it on the DS4.
Yeah,
which
I
is
thought
so
it made it
strange.
really weird. It made it really
Yeah.
weird. On the DualShock,
I
it
didn't
should have
like
just
that.
sat so easy that the controller was the hand, and you could do everything else with the world. And all of a sudden, I was like, "Hold on, this doesn't feel
It
right."
didn't, yeah, it didn't make sense. And it's just like,
right.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm done. We can move on.
No, are you sure? I don't mind. I'll see. I didn't know.
No, it's fine. I've said most of what I would say.
Neon Wall. Has anyone played Neon Wall?
I did, yeah.
Anyone
Anybody
else?
else? Is it just me?
No, yeah, it got delayed.
No, the code's sitting in my email. I haven't tried it yet.
And I don't use codes, and it got delayed, so I haven't played it yet.
Right,
Yeah,
cool.
we'll be
Yeah,
so-
man.
no.
I know Paul played it, and I watched him for a little bit. And on a stream, unless somebody's telling you, you don't really know what's going on. But I had fun with it. I was surprised. It's really cheap, and the one thing that's cool is like it's a puzzle game that feels kind of like a platformer. So a lot of it's about like precision timing and like switching stuff at the right moment. And you have lives and checkpoints, and you can get a game over and start the stage over again. So it reminded me of kind of like, I don't know if you guys played like Donkey Kong Country or Celeste or anything like that, but it's like you retry certain parts over and over just to get the timing just right. So it's not frustrating in a normal puzzle game way where you're like, what do I do? You know what to do. It's just about, can I do it?
Quick enough.
And time everything. And with the moves, it feels pretty good juggling it, back and forth and switching.
I found once I learned to actually look in VR down the level and work out what's coming.
Yeah.
I could get that going. But yeah, when I first played it, the first couple of levels, I thought, I'm not caring about this game. I didn't really get it. I was like, meh. And then by about 4 or 5, when it started bringing in different mechanics, I was like, actually, this is getting really good. And the other day, I'd done a couple of giveaways. I got to like level 14, and I was really enjoying it. I thought it was actually quite good, funny enough. The more you play it, the better it got.
Yeah, and it's sufficiently hard, so I feel like with 50 stages, it's going to take a while to get through the whole thing. I heard there's like a boss fight towards the end or something. I think the devs said that too.
Cool. Like
Yeah, Jim, if you was mentioned in my stream, actually, someone said you'd like that.
Oh, awesome, cool. I need to try and get it in because
I actually am excited to play it.
On an 8
I am excited to play it. Dave, just to let you know, man, you're like halfway in the couch. I don't know if you...
Oh, I didn't mean to be.
That's how you want to do it.
I'm sorry. I'll just fly up.
You got to go, Lewis.
I gotta go. I thought we were gonna be done by. I really gotta. I gotta pop out. Yeah, that was awesome, guys, and Reggie and everything. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you ever so much for popping in, dude.
Great producer, man. Thanks for coming.
What's up, guys?
Whoa! High fives.
Give Seraphim my love, dude, if you see him.
I will. I'll probably talk to him later. Later, Dave.
Yeah, flying 5.
Later, Shug.
Later, man.
Trying to get this couch.
So literally, there is 2 more things to talk about. There is everybody's golf in VR, which was announced.
Yes.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Everybody's golf. That is going to be.
You know what, though?
So pumped.
I did read, though. There's one drawback to this. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news if you haven't.
What is it?
I don't think it has multiplayer.
Oh.
Really?
I don't think it has multiplayer.
That's one of the main
Now,
draws
don't quote me on that.
of
That
like
could
Hot
be
Shots Golf.
that
or
could be
Everybody's
wrong.
Golf or whatever.
But it would make sense because a lot of VR games have come out and not had multiplayer. So I kind of believe it.
But those are
That
often.
being said, good.
I was going to say those are often games where 2 players are interacting at the same time. But with golf, you're just taking turns anyways.
Right. So it could work. But I mean, we're not going to know until what
yeah.
it comes out in January. They said January. But I'm either way, multiplayer or not. I do hope it has multiplayer because that would be amazing. However,
Yeah, for sure.
I've been wanting. I'm a huge Mario Golf fan for the N64. Like I've played that game. I've like 100%ed that game a couple times, and also played lots of Hot Shots Golf.
Yeah.
I have everybody's golf on flat screen.
Yeah, me too.
If I played flat screen, I would probably play it more. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. It's a fantastic series. I'm very excited to have a golf game that uses the moves because I bought that.
Yeah.
What's that other golf game? The mini golf one.
Yeah.
But it
Infinite
doesn't
mini
use
golf,
move
yeah.
support. Infinite mini golf. Thank you. And it doesn't use move support.
You're
and
joking.
I was really
I was going to buy that, and it doesn't use moves.
You
No,
know,
see-
no,
no
yeah,
move
it's all
support.
DualShock 4.
See, what I don't get is they had Planet Mini Golf on the PS3 that used the move with the
Yes.
other camera, but
Yes,
they didn't
that
have
was
it
a
on
great
that.
game. That was a great game.
I don't get why they couldn't do it
And
again
you
with
could,
that.
and Infinite mini golf. You can create. It's got the level creation and everything, but it doesn't use move support.
Now-
And I'm just
That's
like,
insane.
Ken, and correct me
Yep.
if I'm wrong, but isn't Everybody's Golf? It is Hot Shots, isn't it? They just renamed it.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just a bigger, more
Yeah,
expanded.
it's just where they
sequel
went
to
with it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Hot
And it's
Shots.
And
incredible.
unless,
Yeah,
and unless
it's really
anyone's
good.
got anything to add, the last thing to talk about, which I'm sure Dave is going to love, is Space Channel 5.
What?
Space Channel 5.
Yeah.
Take it away, Dave.
The only thing that makes me nervous is that there doesn't seem to be any like gameplay footage in the trailer at all.
Yeah.
It's all just cinematics in a flat screen kind of view. Like there's no first-person VR footage in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the game is, honestly. Like if they make it something where it's like Space Channel 5, but you're doing like a Just Dance kind of thing, like with the moves, that could be pretty fun.
I think I know
like
what's
I'd
happening.
be super up for that, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
This is Sega testing the water.
Exactly.
This is
And
the
that's
test
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Crazy
Do you know what?
Taxi
And I
VR.
want it to work. I
can't
want
wait for
House
that.
of the Dead. I want
Yes,
House of
yeah.
the Dead. I want House of the Dead.
Yep.
I
Oh, you
can't
can
wait.
use that aim controller.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
cool.
Yeah, I'll bring it over to you. Anyway, guys, so that is the PSVR chat show done.
Nice,
Oh,
thank
nice.
you very much.
Thank you very much for coming.
Oh, it's so
Nicely
real.
done.
It is so real, man. I'm going to get some coffee.
Thanks, sir.
I'm going to have a
Thank
donut.
you, sir.
Yeah, I need a donut.
Yeah, thanks for being part of it.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, Jim, a great job with that.
These
through
look
this.
amazing. That one. This is pretty
Yeah.
good.
Pink
So,
one, I want
Yeah.
I want
It
sprinkles.
was fairly, there we go.
GT, are you opening this up, this level up again for the public to come
Yeah.
walk through?
Yes.
He is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Dave,
it's going to be
I
called
think,
PSVR Chat Show
go, buddy.
D-Day.
PSVR chat show D-Day. Come and
PSVR Chat
search
Show
it.
D-Day.
Come and check it out.
Bacon. Let's fry some bacon.
We'll put it in the link there for you.
Oh, my God.
There goes Dave. He's off.
There we go.
Never stop hearing me.
Have a fly.
GC, what did you think of jumping out of the plane?
Donut.
The
Oh,
helicopter.
it was great. It was amazing.
That was nuts.
I'm going to go do it again, actually. Did you guys see the secret monkey? Did you see the secret monkey?
Yeah.
I know,
Yes.
you showed me.
Yes,
So why am I asking you? Did you, Bacon, did you see the secret monkey?
Over that way.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah, the secret monkey.
I'm going to go jump out of the plane, or the helicopter again. real quick.
All right, boys.
I'm gonna join
Thanks
you,
for
GT.
everything. I'm out of here.
Thank you, Shug. Take
Later.
care, man.
Thanks again.
Man.
Dave.
And you in the chat. Sorry we couldn't respond to chat. Chat's broken if you didn't know. But thanks for joining the PSVR chat
thank
show
you.
and listening to my
Damn it.
stupid dogs in the background. Thanks, guys.